First item to deal with is the public hearing, and the hearing tonight is to discuss Ordinance 558, which is an ordinance to amend Chapter 119 regarding the subdivision of land and the minor subdivisions thereof, which we discussed last month, sorry. And all persons are reminded that the session is being recorded on tape for the preservation of records, and asked when called upon to give your name, address, and interest in the matter before the council. Jim, do you just want to give the
real quick synopsis? We talked about it last month. Basically, right now, the way the town review process is for residential, if you're building 3 houses or you're building 293 houses, it's the same plan review process, which is a minimum of 9 meetings in 9 months. The county, if it's something 3 houses or less, they have a simplified review process for a minor subdivision. It can be accomplished in 2 or 3 months. There's not a lot of information to review. There's no new roads, no major infrastructure improvements, very minor stormwater regulations. As always, the plan would get reviewed by Carroll County staff, town staff, and then it would be approved in town by either the P&Z chairman or the entire P&Z commission if the chair would request it to go to the commission. And that's it in a synopsis. So
good synopsis.
Is it subdividing only for residential land?
Yes.
Yes.
Only residential. No.
Any comment from the 2 people here? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. And we'll go into the regular council meeting on tonight, February 10th. Please rise for the opening prayer. And we're going to skip the opening prayer and go with a moment of silence. We lost 2 people who were dear to us in the community in the past month. First one being Sterling Walsh, who was the longest serving member of the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Company. I think he passed away.
Sterling
Brown, sorry. He was the longest serving member when he passed away at the age of 93. And I always enjoyed talking to Sterling when we had the reunions. And then the second one, tragically, Rebecca Funk is the daughter of Jim Dwyer, who's the president of the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Company, and she was struck and killed in a pedestrian accident in Littlestown, Pennsylvania last week. So I've known her since she was a kid. She babysat my children. So our condolences to the Dwyer and Funk families, and a moment of silence. Thank you. The pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jim, roll.
Mayor Nevin.
Here.
Councilmember Barrett.
Here.
Councilmember Painter.
Here.
Councilmember Thomas.
Here.
Councilmember Oglesby.
Here.
And Councilmember Zolman.
Here.
Thank you. Minute approvals, the council council minutes, and the executive closed session council minutes, which I'll give a synopsis of quickly in a few minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Town managers and staff report.
All right. The water system project. On January 29th, we held a pre-construction meeting right here regarding the new water treatment plants. Staff from the town, Conewago Enterprises, HDR, GMB, RK&K Engineering, and MDE were all in attendance. It was a very productive meeting. Many questions regarding the construction process and the scheduling was answered. Many of the parties involved have worked together before. That'll be a big benefit for the project. Then, less than a week later, we executed the contracts with Conewago to construct the 4 water treatment plants. The hope right now is to break ground sometime in April. On the pipeline side of the project, 3 of the 5 new pipelines are complete. Mid-Atlantic lost a few days to the snow, but they started working on Task 4, Wellesley Court, last week. I went by there this afternoon, and they're saw cutting on the road right now where they're going to install the new pipeline. Shortly, they will be bringing in a new second crew to construct Task 5, which is Lower Beckleysville Road, which is a very short pipeline run. And according to Mid-Atlantic's latest schedule update, they have a substantial completion date of May 18th. You may recall that back in 2022, this council approved joining the class action lawsuit against the manufacturers of products that contain PFAS. Well, we started to receive some settlement funds as a result of the lawsuit. Town of Hampstead has 2 separate claims in the suit. So the first is just the general claim that PFAS has been found in our water system. To date, we've received over $388,000 from 3M and $77,000 from DuPont. That is the total that we will receive from DuPont. But from 3M, we'll be receiving yearly payments through 2033. We were offered an accelerated payment schedule, which it would have paid the town a lump sum this year. But after reviewing the lump sum versus the yearly payments and looking at it as investing those yearly payments wisely, it made more sense to go with the yearly payments. So the total amount received at the end of all this should be an additional $430,000 on top of the $388 plus the $77. Also, there are several other defendants in the lawsuit that are still in legal proceedings, but the settlements from those companies will be much smaller than the DuPont and the 3M. We have a second claim in this. It's known as a special needs claim. This claim lays out all the costs that we have incurred to remove the PFAS from our water system. Now, since all the construction costs are being covered with loans, forgivable loans, or the grants, really the cost the town has incurred that we paid out of pocket is the engineering costs. So we turned around and took that 3.1 million or so that we're going to pay out of our pocket, and we filed that in this special needs claim. So whether we get that whole amount or not, we don't know, and we won't know anything until at least September of this year. And I have to thank our mayor for his financial banking aptitude in figuring out the lump sum versus the yearly payouts. It was very, very, very helpful. So, also, about a month ago, we received an email from Hall and Bauer Solutions. This email was to notify the town of their intent to apply for a Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity, a CPCN, with the Maryland Public Service Commission for a community solar project. The developer is Porpoise Solar. There's currently a half dozen similar projects going through the process to build solar facilities in Carroll County. Applying for a CPCN is also the process PSEG is currently going through with the Public Service Commission regarding the MPRP power line project, which everyone is familiar with. So the proposed 5 megawatt facility is going to be located on the Patmos property to the south end of town between where Business 30 and the bypass meet at the South Circle. So the land down there, the town has it zoned restricted industrial, and that this usage is not a permitted or conditional use in that zoning district. However, Maryland Public Utilities Article 7-207 grants the PSC sole authority to site generating stations in Maryland, which preempts local zoning ordinances related to the location, construction, and operation of such facilities. If you read into the report that the application they're going to put in, there are direct quotes from the PSC basically stating if they feel we do not address solar appropriately, our opinion doesn't matter. So anyway, so we have gone over it. We have compiled numerous questions, comments about the application, and we're going to send it to Hall and Bauer later this week, and we hope to meet with Hall and Bauer and the developer by the end of the month. So as far as finance, calendar year has been completed. W-2s have been distributed to employees, and 1099s have been issued and electronically filed with the IRS. Employees have been notified of the availability to receive a paper copy of their 1095-B form if desired. As you know, Cheryl's retiring at the end of March, so we started looking for a new financial administrator. We interviewed 4 candidates for the position. We'll be bringing at least 2 of the candidates back for second interviews, and we hope to be making an offer to one of the candidates by Friday, February 20th. Cheryl's last day, I think, is scheduled for April 2nd, the day before Good Friday. So, Carroll County Regulatory Commission is a quasi-governmental agency with a volunteer.
Cable Regulatory Commission.
Carroll County Cable, yes, that. Their mission is to enforce the contract with Comcast and assist individual customers who have been unsuccessful in reaching a resolution to their concerns. They meet quarterly in the evenings at the Carroll County Government Building. Tim Duff, our Hampstead representative, has stepped down after several years of volunteering to fill the position. The town is seeking someone to take over as the Hampstead representative. If you're interested or have questions about the position, please contact me. Once again this year, we're proud to partner with the American Legion Hampstead Post 200 to pay tribute to the brave men and women who are serving, have served, or have given their life in the line of duty while serving in the United States Armed Forces. Banners with the military member's photo and branch of service will be displayed on the light posts along Main Street from May through September, honoring their services to our country. Applications along with more information can be found on our website, hampsteadmd.gov/military banners, or by calling the town office at 410-239-7408. Here's a sure sign of spring. The first bulk trash pickup. It'll take place on Saturday, March 21st. Residents should place bulk items curbside on the Friday evening before pickup. There are also bulk trash pickup days on the third Saturday in July and October. These days are reserved for large, non-hazardous items like old chairs, appliances, etc., tires, paint, motor, items with freon, oil, or other hazardous waste, or construction materials will not be picked up. Holidays, just a reminder, the town offices will be closed next Monday, February 16th for President's Day, and trash pickup will occur as scheduled. And one thing I didn't put on here, I just wanted to give a shout out real quick to the Public Works Department for the week they went through from January 24th through the 30th. The snow, and then
The leak.
yeah, so it was a 14-hour day, a 10-hour day, a 10-hour day, an 11-hour day, a 7 or 6 a.m. to 11:30 at night day, and then a 7 to 5 day that week. These guys worked an 80 to 90-hour week in conditions that were not very nice. So I just want to thank Kevin, your guys, your crew, amazing job. And
thank you. And I'll put those guys up against anybody in the county. They pitched in, pulled through, and we moved a tremendous amount of snow, fixed a lot of leaks. We're still hunting leaks. Please check your basements. A lot of people don't realize they've got their basements filling up with water because they don't go down there. But we still have issues, and we're still trying to track them down.
Jim stole some of my thunder. I've already thanked you privately, so I'll thank you publicly for you and your team and what they did. As usual, great job. You knew when you were in town. You knew when you were in the county. And for those who commute to Baltimore City, whatever. It's just a nightmare. So
I appreciate that. The credit goes to you all as well for making sure that we have some of the best equipment around to take care of the problem. So, but it went very well, and like I said, I couldn't be any more proud of the guys and the effort that they put in over a rather tough week. Thank you very much. Very well.
all right, Diane. Another sure sign of, well, you're more summer, but go ahead.
Summer, but close enough. Anything's better than last week. The Hampstead Farmers Market Advisory Team met on February 2nd. We are receiving vendor applications and hope to have all of them in by April 1st. Vendors who submit their applications by March 1st and commit to a minimum of 15 days are eligible for a $50 rebate of their vendor fees at the end of the season. All of our music slots for the season are filled. Our breakfast and lunch nonprofit vendors will be St. Mark's Church in June and July, and Manchester Maniacs 4-H Club in August. We still need someone to fill the September slots for the lunch, or for the breakfast and lunch. We are also looking for a new coffee vendor, as Babe Beans Coffee is unable to return this season. As I mentioned last month, we would like to add some new business sponsors to the HFM family. For a $250 fee, your business name and link to your website will be listed on the HFM website. Our Facebook administrator will also write a promotional post spotlighting your business and is more than happy to include photos. He is a professional photographer who donates his talents to the market. To contact the market in response to these items, please go to the Contact Us link on our website, www.hampsteadfarmersmarket.com. Our email address is hampsteadfarmersmarket@gmail.com. Market Manager Keith Johnson's phone number is also listed on the website, 410-236-0589. And so we look forward to June 6th.
We all do. Thank you. Wayne?
The Hampstead train station is still closed. Music in the Park, I've got all the dates filled except for August 22nd. So as soon as I get that filled, we'll publish all the names out on the website. Tree Commission, I'm working on several grants. One for spring, one for this fall, and then one for next spring. So get notice all of them in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully we'll be successful. I don't see why not. We have been in the past.
Cool. Thank you. Deb?
Excuse me. The Hampstead Planning and Zoning Commission met on January 28th. We reviewed the Hampstead information for the 2025 Carroll County Department of Planning Annual Report, which includes any annexations, new subdivisions, site plans, and amendments that the Commission approved last year. Basically everything that we did in 2025. That report was approved by Planning and Zoning. And as discussed earlier, we also reviewed and recommended that Ordinance 558 to the Council for adoption, which is on our agenda this evening.
Thank you. Dave?
Okay, just want to remind everybody about the Carroll County chapter of the Maryland Municipal League. We're going to be offering 3 $1,000 scholarships to Carroll County high school students who have been accepted into a college, university, and this year we're also doing technical schools. The applicant must be a resident of one of the 8 incorporated municipalities in Carroll County. That's Hampstead, Manchester, Mount Airy, New Windsor, Sykesville, Tawnytown, Union Bridge, and Westminster. That is not the zip code that's actually in the town limits. And applications will be due here to Town Hall by Friday, April 24th of this year.
Thank you. Ben?
January average water usage was 352,000 gallons per day. February water usage so far is 361,000 gallons per day. Rainfall for January was just under 2 inches at 1.99 inches. And so far for February, it's 0.01 inches.
That's not
Which
counting
you
the snow.
can't count with the snow, right? All that, though, Hampstead still remains in the severe drought category. We already brought up the water leaks that were fixed. I also attended an MML conference planning committee meeting on the 23rd. This summer conference will be 53 sessions planned. 30 of them will be education workshops. There'll be cabinet secretary roundtables and Bay Stage TEDx or TED type talks.
TED Talks.
There'll be over 270 booths at the expo. And then new this year, MML President Knock, his theme is Back to the Future. He has student registration available, which the applications will be coming up soon. But it's for students that are undergraduate or graduate that have a studies focused on municipality relations or something related with municipalities, and that don't currently work for municipality.
All right.
I thought that was pretty neat.
We got a main speaker yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, all right. Usually that's early on. Chief.
Good evening, everyone. During the month of January, with reference to traffic safety, we investigated 11 accidents. 6 were reportable, 5 were minor property damage only, and 3 crashes took place at the 42 Circle. Speed signs were placed at 7 locations for a total of 69 days of display. Traffic enforcement included 9 selective enforcements, and I have a typo there. It was actually conducted over a 5-hour period, not a a 0-hour period. During that activity, 6 citations and 13 warnings were issued. Overall traffic enforcement included 146 traffic stops, 47 citations, and 146 warnings. We conducted 615 patrol checks. With reference to crime, we had 1 reported domestic assault, 1 theft between 50 and 200, 1 theft 15,000 to 25,000, 1 fraud, 1 burglary, which also included a motor vehicle theft, 3 assaults of the 2nd degree, and 1 harassment by communication issue. Arrests included 1 individual was taken into custody for assault, 1 for theft, 50 to 200, 1 for a fraud. An individual was charged with a burglary and a motor vehicle theft, as well as 1 DUI. We had no traffic-related arrests during January. Topics included legal updates, First Amendment auditors, autism for law enforcement, as well as a leadership course. And our community events, we only had 1 this month. We attended the Spring Garden Elementary Assembly. And if I could go off the script a little bit here, we were talking a little bit before the council meeting relative to a recent incident we had. And I realized that a lot of times I give these reports, each month, and I tell you about, incidents that took place, but the follow-ups aren't always that clear. It's really easy when I say, hey, we had, 1 assault and there's 1 arrest for assault. But a lot of the things that take place aren't necessarily reported in here with the follow-ups. We typically don't do that. And there was 2 matters that came to light that concluded this month, or during the month of January, actually this month as well, which I thought were notable. It was on the state's attorney's website, and I believe we posted it as well. We had an individual that we had charged with probably one of the most significant domestic assaults I've ever seen in my career. It was horrible. It concluded with this individual receiving a 20-year sentence. Last Friday, he was sentenced by Judge DiLeonardo. And I bring that up because a lot of people are influenced by television and, movies and things. And I will tell you that a 20-year sentence is a big, big deal for any police department and any individual involved in that case. It doesn't happen on a regular basis. So that is just a testament to the work that our people put into that. And this was a plea, which makes it a little bit more important because, to put it in perspective, this person, based on the work that our people did in preparing for this, was willing to take this as opposed to letting somebody else decide for it. So I think it's notable. It was great work by the guys. At some point in time, we'll have a more formal recognition for them. The second part, the day before, on Thursday, Detective Mann and Officer Emery were down in Baltimore with the assistance of the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Baltimore City Police, Homeland Security, a few other agencies were involved, and they served a series of search warrants and recovered anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000 worth of stolen merchandise from here in town. We're not really quite sure what the total value is going to be because we have we have an evidence room that's full of stuff that we're still trying to count. This was as a result of, it started as a simple retail theft at our CVS, and Casey was able to develop it into something much more significant. It was an organized retail theft group that was hitting all throughout Carroll County, but they hit here as well. And I throw those 2 things out just so you folks have an idea of the work that these guys do, what they're capable of. I'm completely proud of these guys. I can't speak highly enough about them, but it's not on the script, and I just thought I'd throw that out for what it's worth. But anyway, that would be my report.
Thank you, Chief. Job well done. Appreciate it. All right, my report. A couple of different things going on here. First thing is the note I need to read regarding our closed session last month. After scheduling and posting notice of a closed meeting of the Hampstead Town Council, the meeting was held at 7:58 p.m. on January 13th, 2026 at Town Hall here at 1034 South Carroll Street. Presiding at this meeting was myself. Present at this meeting, in addition to me, were the council members Diane Barrett, Deb Painter, Wayne Thomas, Dave Oglesby, and Ben Zolman. Also in attendance at the invitation of the Town Council were Town Manager Jim Rourke, Police Chief Dave Snyder, Town Attorney Tom McCarron, and Director of Human Resources Judy Rang. Pursuant to the general provisions article of the Annotated Code of Maryland 3-305B, in order to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice on a legal matter, a motion to go into closed session was made by Councilmember Thomas and seconded by Councilmember Barrett to discuss the matter. The matter was discussed. The closed session was adjourned and an open meeting reopened with a motion by Councilmember Thomas and seconded by Councilmember Oglesby. So there you go. Let's see, as far as some of the things been working on last month, one of the fun things about being mayor is if I were a mayor contest for fourth graders, the mayors go into the various fourth grade elementary schools across the state. Every year there's a theme. This one was related to the 90th anniversary of Maryland Municipal League and looking back 90 years and then asking the children what they see good about their towns and what their town may look like 90 years from now. So I can't wait to read these essays. And it's always a great opportunity to get in front of the fourth graders. I went to Spring Garden and Hampstead Elementary last Friday, and then the non-event snow clouds happened, and school was called 2 hours early, and so I couldn't get over the 5th District. That'll happen this Friday. But it's always a good time, and we have a whole slideshow we present to them, and they learn what a parts per trillion is for PFAS, and it's amazing how quickly they understand it. When you show them Olympic-sized swimming pools and 1 drop of water in any one of those, they can't make sense of it, nor can we. So, but it's always a good time. They always have good questions too. A couple of things on the Maryland Municipal League Legislative Committee, and one of the I guess most controversial bills that's been introduced is the Starter and Silver Homes Act of 2026. And basically this is an act that preempts all local zoning and regulatory authority from all the towns and cities and counties in the state. It all becomes central plan, state plan, much like the solar panels that we just talked about. As you can imagine, there's been a lot of back and forth on this. Maryland Municipal League Legislative Committee initially came out opposed, but then we thought better of that and went in with amendments. Then you stay at the table and have more discussions with it. The first hearing is this Thursday in the House. It's House Bill 239. The second hearing, Senate Bill 36, and that's next Tuesday. And I have a letter here. Basically, it would take all planning authority for any lot that's 5,000 square feet. The state would have say as to what goes there. They would make all these single-family houses at 5,000 feet, and you could put townhouses pretty much anywhere you wanted. Setbacks would be 10 feet. So nothing that we do here. So we basically densify and urbanize the state in search of an answer to the housing issues. I don't know if I want to call it crisis, but the housing issues. So I have a letter that basically we're sending to the heads of both committees and to Delegate Rose, Delegate Stanko, probably send one to Senator West as well, our representatives for this section of the county. Delegate Rose is actually for the rest of the county, but she serves on the House Committee, so we're going to send it directly to her. And it says, on behalf of the town of Hampstead, I'm writing to respectfully express our opposition to House Bill 239, Senate Bill 36, the Starter and Silver Homes Act of 2026. Well, the town appreciates the intent of this legislation and recognizes efforts to advance reasonable goals. Responsible goals related to a housing shortage. A one-size-fits-all approach does not work. In some urban areas where infrastructure is readily available, increasing capacities may not be an issue. However, in rural areas where it is restricted, increasing infill development will create serious problems with our infrastructure, which cannot support the intended growth proposed by this legislation. As with other towns and cities in the state, our municipal charter vests us with independent zoning, land use regulation, and environmental protection authority. Local governments are best positioned to understand the unique needs, infrastructure requirements, and fiscal constraints of their communities. Local decision-making has long been a cornerstone of effective and responsive governance. Passage of this bill could potentially increase residential density in areas that were not originally planned or engineered for that level of development. This legislation does not take into consideration local adequate public facilities ordinances or laws and the need to maintain them. The proposal could place significant strain on local infrastructure and services, increasing demands on water and wastewater systems, roadways, stormwater management facilities, fire and EMS, and schools, exacerbating existing challenges and accelerating the need for costly upgrade. Who pays for them? Hampstead already maintains a significant commitment to housing affordability. More than 60% of households meet the state's definition of low-income housing or workforce income levels, and over 40% of the town's rental stock is federally subsidized. We believe the future housing growth should be coordinated carefully with infrastructure investment and local planning tools to ensure sustainable and fiscally responsible outcome, the very tenets of smart growth. Policies that substantially limit local planning authority risk creating unintended burdens on small municipalities that must finance and maintain the resulting infrastructure. For these reasons, we respectfully request that the General Assembly reject the proposed legislation and consider other options while preserving meaningful local decision-making authority that allows municipalities to phase growth responsibly and ensures that infrastructure capacity can be addressed alongside any density increases. The town of Hampstead values its collaborative relationship with the state and looks forward to continuing to work together on legislation that balances statewide priorities with local governance. We appreciate your consideration of these comments and welcome the opportunity to participate in further discussions. Respectfully submitted. So I ask you guys to approve the submittal of this letter.
I recommend that we authorize the mayor to send this letter.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. We'll get that letter out forthwith. We have another legislative committee hearing starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow. It's about probably 2.5 hours long. This is a CD, right? Department of Community Housing Development proposal with our Secretary of Housing, Jake Tay, and his staff behind it, and its governor's proposal. We'll see how this goes forward or doesn't go forward. We as a Maryland Municipal League may be changing our league position back to opposes at some point, but currently it's support with amendment. But most of the towns, I mean, I've seen letters from several in Carroll County, as far away as Ocean City. Ours, there's nobody supporting this. And environmental groups as well may be behind, not getting behind this because what happens with stormwater management, what happens with erosion control, with that kind of density of development, it's missing something here. It's a step too far. So everybody agrees that we need to address housing in Maryland, but our tax structure, our regulatory structure, our fee structure goes into that as well. What's the Maryland Department of Transportation think? How does the MDE play into this? And it's sort of, we're missing the whole of government look at something so significant that this should really be reworked if considered at all. Because quite frankly, putting this burden onto the towns and the counties, I don't know that that's quite, basically it's not fair as proposed. So thank you for your support, and thanks to Jim and his staff and, for the suggestions and the framework here. So it made it easy. Secondly, we're going to have the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Company, as you know, it has their big new grand facility, and as a result, they have capital campaigns and capital needs. And one way they're going to address this is they're going to have a gala in March, and I'd like to step up and support that gala to the amount of $10,000. We already give the Volunteer Fire Company $50,000 a year, so basically this would be a $10,000 increase over that. But I think it's important, given how our town and the fire department have grown together for the years. People think that maybe their taxes directly finance them. They do not. They're a separate entity altogether. The county provides them with some funds for their equipment and for their personnel, particularly EMS. But it's basically a volunteer fire company. So I think that's important that we support that to the tune of $10,000. So I would entertain a motion to take $10,000 out of reserve and put it into the capital campaign in support of the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Company.
I make a motion to support the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Company, $10,000.
Second.
And because it's technically an amendment to our budget, I need a roll call vote.
Councilmember Barrett,
Yes.
Councilmember Painter,
Yes.
Councilmember Thomas,
Yes.
Councilmember Oglesby,
Yes.
and Councilman Zolman.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, appreciate that. And, I mean, we'll support them, and hopefully it's a good time. And I think they're gonna wrap in the Hall of Fame related to that as well, which is well-deserved and much needed. So, as you can tell, there's a few things going on in Hampstead and a few things that are impacting us from afar and near. And, you know, it looks like a duck on a pond, but those feet are paddling like crazy underneath the water. And we always appreciate your support. So there is no unfinished business. On the new business, we have the renewal of contracts for town mowing. Jim?
So we had 3-year contracts, 3 different contracts with 2 different vendors. There was a line in there that basically, if we're happy with the service we're getting, we can renew the contracts for 2 additional growing seasons. Everyone's been happy with what Myers and Precision Property Services has been doing. We asked for additional pricing for 2 additional years. The increases that they're showing are right in line with the increases that were in the 3-year contract that's just ending. So the town would recommend basically doing the 2-year option, the 2-year additional years for the mowing services for the town.
Is there a motion for,
Take them all together.
sure,
Make a motion that we approve the 2-year extension for all 3 contracts.
Second.
any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. And then under ordinances and resolutions was the ordinance that we just had our public hearing for, which was ordinance 558, which is an ordinance to amend chapter 119 regarding subdivision of land of 3 residential lots or smaller.
Motion for adoption of ordinance 558.
Second.
Any further? I'm glad it's a popular one. All those in favor? Oh, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you. And public comments? Nothing? All right, we're good. Hopefully, I said something about feeling the weather in my bones last month, so I hereby rescind that because my bones have felt it as long as everybody else has too. And hopefully, you know, the groundhogs may be right, but we're done with significant weather events. We'll see how it goes. So, what's it? 40 degrees outside today, and it feels like shorts and t-shirt weather.
The groundhog's only 35% right.
Correct. Okay. Whatever he gets his, I'm looking at Kevin. Wherever he gets his forecast from, he's pretty much nailed it.
Right,
Yeah. You should.
It's a combination. I use a lot of resources.
Yeah. Well, channels 211, 13, 45 should take note. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you all.